The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good. Billy Ray, feeling good, Louis. Our guest today to start off will be Shane Smolian, giving some little capsule of what this eclipse means. Then we're going to have David Paul at the halftime break. Pay attention, folks, to that coffee trade that Mr. Z did down there at 202. You can see it's now trading way above 230. That's one of the advantages of coming into the Tiger Den. I believe we have Shane Smolian on the line now.
Good morning, Larry. Can you hear me?
Oh, looking good. Billy Ray, feeling good. Mr. Eclipse himself. Tell us what this eclipse means, my friend. 580 years till the next one?
Yeah, this was, each eclipse is unique in its own way, but this one, the length of the eclipse lasted the longest in 500 years. So an eclipse is really just a very precise full moon or a new moon. And in this case, I'm going to talk about this lunar eclipse. So very briefly, this occurred at 3:56 a.m. In the morning. This was the longest eclipse in 500 years. It occurred at 27 degrees of Scorpio-Taurus axis. Now, I want to point something out here. I asked for your chart again this morning just to double check. But your ascendant is 28 degrees of Taurus, and you have Saturn sitting right there. And I think you mentioned this week in the trading webinar you had, there was some disruptions, and you just weren't your normal self, right?
That's the computer. Had nothing to do with astrology.
Yeah. Well, the eclipse was passing over your ascendant. Your ascendant is your environment. It's exteriors, it's others, it's people surrounding you. So that, I felt it last night. Like, I'm 26 degrees of Scorpio, so my ascendant, I'm a double Scorpio. I'm a sun and ascendant. And so last night I'm driving to my daughter's ice skating, and I'm telling my wife, there's like 4 incidents when I'm driving on the road where these cars were acting crazy and swerving and doing. I said, this has to be the eclipse, and I was feeling it all week. And so we get to my daughter's ice skating, and I pull up, and then this lady and my wife's like, no, it's just because you're driving my car, you're not used to it. And I said, okay. So we're waiting in the parking lot, going to wait for my daughter, waiting to pick my daughter up, and this car, I swear, Larry, I'm just parked here, just swerves out of nowhere and just almost cuts and crashes into me. And I told my wife, I said, you believe me now? I said, it's the eclipse. It's on my ascendant. Wow. But anyway, that's just my personal. But you and I share the axis. Your descendant is with my ascendant. So it's interesting. I just thought I would point that out. I think you and I probably felt this more than most people. Now, in terms of the markets, the lunar eclipses tend to be great attractors before the S&P. So in other words, before they happen, it's an attractor. Afterwards, it tends to be negative. So the markets rallied almost exactly to the eclipse and turned lower last night. And so the fact that there was no Fed involved makes this astrology stand out even more. Can you see the chart here with the eclipse that I'm showing here with this S&P?
I believe so.
Okay, so this is super interesting because the market rallies almost right into the eclipse at 356. These tend to be great attractors like beforehand. Now, I'm going to show you the statistical run of it in a minute, but it's supposed to go up into the eclipse. That's what it's supposed to do, and then it's supposed to fall after. Lunar eclipses typically are negative for the S&P. Each market is a little bit different, of course, but this is the statistical run. This is an efficiency test of the S&P before and after. So I know a lot of your other astro guests show this stuff on your show, but this is essentially showing the market comes up into the eclipse here, and then I've kind of blocked this out because this is really for subscribers here. But the market does tend to fall after lunar eclipses, so it's not completely unusual that it's still kind of hanging out a little bit here. But in the next few days coming up, this does tend to run into more of a negative situation for the S&P. So solar eclipses can be more positive because they're dealing with conjunctions, and most of the time conjunctions are lows, and we've been in a bull market for a long time. But typically oppositions or full moons tend to be tops. Particularly if you're in a bull market. So I just thought that was interesting. It played out almost exactly. And I think that this played out, quite frankly, because it was in the middle of the night and you don't have all of this Fed stuff going on during the day. And when you get the Fed out of the picture, the Astro tends to come down many times to almost to the exact minute. We were a few minutes off here, but it's pretty impressive that it did actually fall right after the eclipse at that moment. So I just wanted to point that out. It was just kind of an interesting muse here, the fact that it affected your chart, my chart, and also the S&P here. So in general, it's a negative in the days following.
Okay, listen, thanks for joining us. And you're going to be on the show on Tuesday, I believe. You're going to be our guest. Is that correct? Wednesday, you're going to be our
Wednesday.
guest.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I'll be here.
Okay, we'll see you next week then. Okay, pal?
Have a great week, everybody. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for joining us, Shane. Okay, I've got a few little tidbits here of information for those of you like Fibonacci numbers and stuff. First of all, what I'd like to do is to show you what I was watching last night. This happens to be the chart of the NASDAQ. Let me get this up here. It was happening exactly at the same time as the eclipse. If you like ABCDs, you can see we made that big ABCD up there right around that 16,000 level. And we actually made a tiny bit higher high this morning by a little bit. But that completed that ABCD. From there, it dropped 100 handles. Of course, 100 handles is nothing. Remember, folks, when you're looking at the NASDAQ, you're only looking at about 25 stocks. That's not the overall market. What I was watching at that time, and something very important happened yesterday from a technical standpoint, from the way that I look at charts and anybody that does pattern recognition, here is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, I realize it's only 30, but it's the one that's reported by most reporters. You know, the Dow's doing this. Half of them don't even know that the S&P has nothing to do with the Dow. But you'll notice here, last 2 weeks ago, we made that 1.618 expansion at 36,500. Yesterday's low, as you can see, was a perfect ABCD to the downside. Now, stop and think of that now. We've been going straight up in the S&P and straight up in the NASDAQ, and the Dow's been going down. So what I was assuming, if that's happening, and this is really a bear market, and I'm not sure that it is, but you know, if it was going to do that, what I wanted to see, because I wanted to show you the ABCD pattern that we had here in the Dow Jones yesterday. This was the Gartley pattern down there at 35,600. You'll see we rallied 300 points, and I said in the video last night we should rally right up to the 382 retracement on this. And if it's not any good, then that's when the market would start down. And so what I'm going to try to do now is move on and show you what happened. And I am in a quandary, and I'm in a quandary most of the time anyway. Here it is. I found it. Just bear with me here, and you'll see what is going on here, what we're looking at right here. What appears to be happening, you see we went right up to that 382, which was a 61% retracement of the day of the 16th, and it was also a 50% retracement of the high that we made way back on way back there several weeks ago. Anyway, that's why it's beginning to look bullish. My assumption is if this market is really bearish today and any of this stuff works, we're going to see the NASDAQ turn, and when the NASDAQ turns, Katie, bar the door. Well, you know, Katie's not at the door, so we'll have to pay attention to some of these things because that's what's going on. I've been asked to talk about we got to take a little break here. David Paul will be our guest at the break, folks, in 15 minutes. 877-927-6648.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right, information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TAS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500 plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE, and you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, I also posted the daily S&P. You'll notice here the 1.618 expansion up there measured to 47.25. We got to 47.23 last night, and we broke 40 handles when the Dow was. We've rallied back just about 50% so far. So the market's still looking pretty bullish. But again, I really believe that if you follow those NASDAQ stocks, when they finally start to give up the ship sometime between, I'm going to pick a top here now, folks, sometime between today and April the 14th. Of 2024. One of those 2 days will be interesting to see whether the market is going to make some type of a top or not. Folks, the other thing that's important is pay attention to crude oil today, folks. I'm going to let you do this work yourself because I believe in 618 quite a bit. The low on the crude oil today was exactly within 5 pips of the exact 61% retracement. That was an ABCD pattern. It's also, we made an ABCD pattern on the downside in heating oil. You know, we've been very bearish those for the past few weeks. I don't understand how gasoline can go, from 306 a gallon to 354 a gallon here in Tucson when gasoline prices on the future market's going down, but that's why they call them futures markets. So I understand how the forward pricing goes. So that's not a big deal. So those are, this is a big day, folks. If I told you several times, oh, by the way, let me tell you something here. We are going to have as our guest on Tuesday, and Monday will be Jeff Hughes, Wednesday will be Shane Smolian, and Thursday will be the turkey himself. And Friday, I will not be on the show on Friday. I take the holiday off. We're doing some family stuff, so I will not be on the show on Friday. But pay attention Tuesday, folks. If I keep my fingers crossed, we're going to have Dr. Al Larson from Thornton, Colorado, as our guest from Money Tide. And folks, I've met 4 or 5 what I call super smart people in my 80-some years, and he is right at the top of the list. Let me tell you that. And not only that, but he's a stand-up, all-American good type guy. So hopefully we'll have Al Larson as our guest. I know he's really busy. That's part of it. But he's fun to be around, and he certainly is. He's very smart. Okay, let's go back here and talk just a little bit about the Bondolis. The Bondolis have been under a great deal of pressure here. We had some very strong support down here a few days ago on the 17th. And I wanted to bring this up because we're coming into what we call still a very nice area here of resistance up here around this 162 area. Now we hit 162.03 this morning. That was about 7 pips away. So keep an eye on that number because it has a tendency to act like a magnet. And believe me, these puppies are in a very severe downtrend, and you want to try to get some shorts off if you can get them in the area of the rally. That's what we want to be doing. Now, we do need to go across the pond here for just a little bit and get this up here to let our folks see it here. This happens to be the German DAX. We're going to talk about the Deutschland here. You'll notice here that we missed the 61% retracement here by about 10 points in the DAX, and then it sold off quite a bit. I'm not sure what it did after that point, but that was the early part of it. You'll remember now, this is the 19th in the middle of the night, and that is spot on when that solar eclipse hit, or that lunar eclipse hit. And so you can see there's a 3 drive to a top pattern. I mean, each of the tops are symmetrical, and they just barely make a higher high, and then look what happened. And that was right at the time of the eclipse. You know, Andrew Lowe in his book, the evolution of commodity technical analysis, he gives credit to the astrologers being the first chartists. That's going back to the Sumerians and Babylonians and stuff, and it's a very interesting book. But he has pictures of the tablets from Samaria showing how they planted wheat and where wheat was supposed to top and stuff like that. And the Babylonians, being a little later, also had Mercury on there, but they use the moon for that stuff, so it's going to be interesting. And this is certainly a big one. All right, someone's asked the question, was I trading when they did the last eclipse 580 years ago? I don't think so. I'm old, but I'm not that old. Okay, let's move on. There's one stock here that I've been asked to cover here, folks. Something's telling me that there's something going on. Hold on a second, and my beeper's going off. I want to get this chart up of Alibaba. We need to talk about that here pretty soon. It's probably the NASDAQ making. Crude oil's making the low here. Pay attention, boys and girls. We just broke the 61% retracement. We got to do this right now. Let's forget the Alibaba for a second because we've only got a few minutes, and I want to get this up here so you folks can take a look at it because I've been waiting for a long time, and I mean a long. Oh no! This is not fair. Not fair. But by the way, I have to. Oh, here it is. I got it right. Stay with me here 1 second now. I can do this with a little bit of luck. Let's get this up here. This thing is looking really bearish, boys and girls. I'm telling you. Hold on just a second. And we had that beautiful 382. All right, I've got to do 2 things. Bear with me a second. This is worth the price of admission from my point of view, so I have to send it to myself. Okay, there it is. Self's got it. Now I've got to come up here, and I've got to put it into the old computer thing here. To hopefully we can get this done correctly without any trouble at all. And trouble is... Boy, oh boy. All of my frustration in this business comes from, you're not going to be able to see this very well, but this is all you're going to get. So sorry about it. That's it. Nothing else I can do. All right, here we go. All right, you'll see here, you see where we rallied this morning up to the 382 at 79.10. We are now $3.70 a barrel, boys and girls. And this is a 4-hour chart. Lower, and we're continue to making new lows. This is not a good sign for now. If crude oil can turn from here, and it's got a 50-50 chance of turning from here, but right now it's accelerating to the downside. Give me a second here because I've got to turn off this limit minder, otherwise it's going to drive me nuts because I put it so sensitive so that we'll be able to watch it. The actual number on that 61% retracement was 75.40. The low today so far is 75.17. So it's that accurate. So once it breaks that, it tells you that you're heading down a little bit more. So we'll watch it. Okay. Now, let me see. That's the crude oil. Now, I'll do the heating oil, too, to show you what we're looking at here, because there's the heating oil going off. Hold on. Oh, boy, they're having a good time today in the old Pueblo. Just a second here. Here's the heating oil. And again, I've got to get back up here to the old, this is good. Hold on a second here. All right. Okay, we got that taken care of. If you have any, well, it's too late for questions because we're going to have, hopefully we'll have David Paul from the UK on as our guest at the halftime show, and then we will be ready to go with that. Hopefully they're going to tell me that David. Oh, we got a caller from Michigan. John, what can we help you with about crude oil?
Hey, Larry, I want to say thanks very much for that show you did on Wednesday. That was the first time I've been to one of those. So, secondly, hey, you were talking about the oil, and I'm going to keep it real brief. Yes. I was just watching, I believe it was Bloomberg, and they had on a fellow from Germany talking about the fact that Germany's going to possibly lock the whole country down again. Same thing with Austria. So that could be why that oil is starting to drop or has been dropping. You know, people looking forward, thinking that they shut everything down. People won't be driving around. People won't be.
Yeah, that's right. That makes a good.
Of course, they will be needing to heat their homes with heating oil and stuff like that. But I just thought I'd throw that in there for you.
Hey, thank you for calling in, and I'll send that $20 to you tomorrow. Okay.
And trading the markets, but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den Trading Room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, with a great deal of enjoyment on my part. I hope yours, as we have David Paul on the line from the University of Kingdom of, what do they call that thing over? Oh, UK, United Kingdom. David, how you doing, buddy? Are you there, David? Well, I'm not getting any connection here. I hope that everything's all right. Let me double check.
If you just let me know whether you can see my screen or not, sir.
I can't see it as of yet, but that doesn't mean it's not there. So hopefully he's going to try to put it in. Okay. How are you been? Okay. Oh, there we go. It's all set, David. Ready to go. It's all ready. I don't know how to. Well, maybe I could do it this way. I could do it. It's all ready to go. But
I can't hear a word. I can't hear anything. If you're speaking, I
can hear you. The problem is that the connection here seems to be off a little bit. I have turned all the way up to the hilt. Well, evidently we can't hear you too well, so I'm not going to worry about that. Well, can you Skype? I can't even Skype him either because that's on the other machine. Why don't we do this? Can you just tell him we'll do it at another time? Would you be able to do that, Al? Because I don't want to embarrass him or myself, because you know how I am technically. I love technical stuff, but let's try to do that and to go from there. Okay, folks, we're going to have to get David on at another time because of there's only one person to blame, and anyway, we'll try to get this figured out the best we can. Let's talk a little bit about the overall state of some of these markets. We've been bearish crude oil and heating oil and gasoline for about 3 weeks. We're down in major support right now, okay? Now, the one that's the most interesting from my perspective, and we trade this a lot, we happen to be short the gold market here. Just give me this so we can take a quick look at it. And we are extremely bullish here if we can get this thing above the 1880 level. The ABCD on that was 1879. The exact high of that week was 1879.50. We've gone sideways for a week, and folks, that is not bearish. When you hit a number like that and then it goes sideways, it's telling you that the people are wanting to buy it. One other very important thing today that really is important, from if you're a futures trader, we made new highs in the S&P 500. We made new highs yesterday in the NASDAQ, and we had a drop in open interest. Folks, if the open interest drops tonight, we'll report this on Sunday, of course, when I do the videos. That's telling you that there's trouble in River City. I know they're going up, but basically what it is, it's the last shorts that are in there doing it. So you've got to be very careful up here. I know we're almost making new highs now in the NASDAQ. We're not quite to the 61% retracement in the S&P, but this is acting extremely bearish. If this was really bullish, open interest would be piling in. I mean, I'm not going to give you a lecture on that. This is my 2 cents worth. But for every buyer, there's got to be a seller, and there's not new buyers up in here, but there's not new sellers either. So that could change at any moment. But if there happens to be another drop in open interest on today after this big move in the NASDAQ, you can stop and see what it's done with the rest of the market. You know, the Dow being down, a couple 180 or something like that, and the S&P up, and then also the NASDAQ up about 80 or 100, whatever it is. So that's the important thing to remind ourselves of that, because that's a potential for a really big move in that gold market. The other one that is very important, and we've mentioned it several times here. We want to get this to the same. Hold on, we've got another caller coming in right now. Let's see what we've got here. Short covering. David's asking the question. See, when the formula for open interest is if prices go up and open interest drops, that means shorts have covered. In other words, the people that were short covered their position, okay, and the long is also covered his position. So the open interest will drop by 1. Now, if prices go up and open interest increases, that means new buyers are coming in. There's also new sellers coming in, but the buyers have more power because the market keeps going higher. It's when the market goes down, and prices go up, that that's the problem. So what happened is we have prices going up and open interest going down, and the formula says that is showing market weakness. And overall, looking at it over 100 and some year, well, they haven't been reporting it that long, but over the last 80 years or so, when that's happened, 95% of the time, it's telling you that's what's going on. Now that could change in a heartbeat. We could come in, folks. The high in the open interest in the S&P was 3.2 million contracts, and we're at 2.4 now, 2.4 million. So all during this last rally, there's not been a lot of increase in open interest, but now we've been at this area of 2.4 for roughly 2 months, and we're seeing the market go into new high ground, but the open interest is dropping. So that's why it's supposedly bearish. Now, I also look at the patterns, and to me, when you make that 1.618 expansion on the S&P at 47.23, the number was 47.25. Now, if we close above that, heck, I might even buy a share of Apple. The other thing, if you like trading Apple, go look at Apple on the long-term daily price, and you'll notice here that the high of Apple at the 1.618 expansion, which is one of the, the big daddy rabbit of the Nasdaq, that 1.618 expansion comes in at 59.99. Let's call it 159.90. We'll call it 160. So if Apple closes above 160, I would think that would be an extremely bullish thing to have happen. So I have no idea. Would someone in the den please alert me what the last price of the Apple is? I'd like to know if it's above the 160 level, because we're really close to another high here in the Nasdaq. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. So. That's it. It's very important low today, folks, because we went a few pennies below this in the crude oil, but that's nothing. You're talking about 75 was our original target on this, and we basically hit it. So that's the ABCD. The high of the I can't make this stuff up. The high of the day of Apple was 159.96. I was wrong. I thought it was going to be 160. Okay, let's move on here to a couple other things that I think. Let me get back to that stock of Alibaba, because Sarah bought this stuff when Jack Ma got out of high school and we were living in Hong Kong. Anyway, that was in 2007. You'll notice here, the Alibaba made a beautiful 3 drive to a bottom, and then it rallied into October, early November of this year. Look at this, folks. It stopped at the exact 382 of the high in April. I mean, to within $1 or $2. And now look where we are, down around 143, 141 with this big gap down today. The reason why I marked that as key time is because that was also a 61% retracement and a Gartley coming in here 3 days ago when it hit that level, and then of course it backed off. So just showing you that these patterns are there for 2 reasons. One, they have some degree of predictability, and the main reason that you have them is because they tell you when you're right and when you're wrong, and that means risk control, and that's the whole key of what we're looking about. I certainly am disappointed that we don't have David on the line here, because he's such an entertaining person.
Are you in the market for buying
nice
or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, folks, these next two charts are very important because they deal with money. This is the first one was the euro, and the second one was the U.S. dollar index on the weekly basis, starting back with the euro. The euro actually went down and made a slightly lower low than the day that we were looking at it to make a low today. And, of course, it snapped back again. It's had some pretty wild swings here in the euro, and I am not sure which direction it's going to go. The fact that it could make a lower low today in face of all this stuff really is quite surprising. Now, the dollar index has not made a new high as of yet, so this is going to be probably rectified in the last few days. The fact that the euro could not collapse is a great deal, very, very important. I think it's something that we should pay close attention to, and I'll be doing that in the newsletter, in the videos, and also in the newsletter over the weekend as we start to look at those. But I believe that the most important thing today is to watch that market, because if the Dow Jones makes another new low today, after making that 382 retracement last night, and as you can see, it's struggling to rally, and the S&P can only get back, we're back just about to the 50% level in the S&P. The NASDAQ just made another new high up here. That's the third one for the day. But again, you're talking about 25 stocks at the most, and the ones that are in the news, of course, Amazon and stuff like that. What's amazing is to see Alibaba drop after they had this monster sales thing that they do every year in Hong Kong and China, and it was just knocked it off the charts as far as the number of people that were buying, and yet the stock didn't like it. So that's a situation where you have good news, bad action, and that's not a very good thing. Another one to look at, folks, is if you remember yesterday, Mr. Z was on the line with us looking for a buy in copper around the 419 level, and the price was 429, and I said, yeah, it's possible, but I thought we would go closer to $4, and yet here we have copper up a great deal today. It's up around 10 cents, 10 or 12 cents, which is, another one that defies the market nature of what we're looking at right here. Hold, I think we might have a caller might have come in here. We've got Mike from Southern California on the line. Mike, how are you doing?
Good morning, Larry. How you doing?
I'm good. You want to ask about Alibaba?
About a chart from of Alibaba. Can you?
Sure.
What do you see at that chart? I have it up in my screen. Maybe you can put it back up. And do you see a double bottom? You expect at 138.43?
Yes, there's around 138, 136.75 was the old one. We got this big gap down today, which is news related. They had very bullish news, Mike, and yet the market just really hammered it. And you can see if you followed the Hang Seng Index in Hong Kong, that was a big percentage of that, and so it pushed it down. Now this could be a 1 or 2 day aberration. So as I would be a buyer down there at that. If I don't trade out stocks, but if it got down to that 137 again, I would watch how it did it, because if it just takes out those stops at 136.75 and goes nowhere, then you've got a pretty good idea that it's a double bottom. But if it should gap below that, that's not a double bottom. This is not a bullish chart. This is a situation where stock topped way back in April, and here we're into October, and we're making new highs in the S&P. We're making new highs in the NASDAQ, and the Dow made new highs of 3 weeks ago. So this would only be a scalp trade, in my opinion. Oh,
okay,
Mike,
thank you, Larry.
Hey, hold it, Mike. One other thing for your homework, okay? And I'd like for you to report this for me. When we're finished here today and sometime over the weekend, I'd like for you to do the weekly chart on Alibaba, and let's see what we come up with, because I'm not looking at the weekly here. I'm just looking at the daily over the last 7 months. That weekly might be a really big key that, 136 could really be a super, super good buy. So that's your homework. If you can figure that out, let me know.
At like 129.77 from 3 years back, 2019.
Okay. Well, report back to me on what those ratios and patterns look like, and you'll have a pretty good idea what 136 is going to look like.
All right. Thank you, Larry. I really appreciate you taking a look at that and explaining it.
Mike, you're very lucky. Buy a lottery ticket today. You were one of the few people to be able to get on the line. That's really an amazing feat,
You know what? I owe Al like $50 to get me in there. So
I know he's always trying to scam a buck or two. That's for sure. Hey, thanks a lot, my friend, and have a wonderful weekend and a happy Thanksgiving. You bet.
You too.
Okay, folks.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You bet.
To you.
Okay.
Bye now.
Okay, we've only got a couple more minutes here to go through and look at some of these things. But there was one here. Let me show you what I think are the most important things today. Okay, folks? And I will bring this up to you right now. And one of them is this one right here. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average breaking down, making new lows after the 78% level. Now we're bouncing back a little bit because there's always people coming in to buy. It's how it closes today. If it closes badly today, then you're looking at something really, really, really serious. The second most important chart of the group is this one right here, and that is take a look at this one here. This is the E-mini S&P, the December contract, looking at the 1.618 expansion at that missed by 2 points. And we've got Jeff from Philly on the line with crude oil. Jeff, what's up, my friend?
Hi, Larry. I assume you just triggered long on oil?
You assumed correctly.
Okay, I have two questions. First question is, are you planning on holding that over the weekend?
I don't plan on anything. If it moves really strongly in my favor, yes. But if it doesn't move very much, I will not hold it overnight, especially from this level right here. And I'm not even sure. I mean, basically, yeah. I'm a tiny bit ahead. But I have a stop now at just under at 74.99. So my risk here is only $300, and so that's what I'm looking. But I can't tell you how long I'm going to be looking at. I'm only ahead 6 pips, so I can't really. But we should, if this is correct, we stood sharp moving up in the next 10 or 15 minutes, and if we go below 75, which we 74.99, I would say that's it. I don't want to have anything more to do with you from the long side because I'm not willing to risk more than just a few points, and that's what I'm really shooting for.
Okay, very good. So if you see it moving reasonably in your favor between now and the end of the day, you would hold it over the weekend.
If I had $1 profit in it, if it closes above 76.40, then I would say yes. And I'm predicting that it's going to, at least rally 60 or 70 points from this level. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. But like I said, my stop is going to be at 74.99. And I bought it right, so I'm only going to risk $300 because I just watch the patterns, and that's a 618 on the daily, buddy. That's all I can tell you.
I got you. Okay. My second question is, if you hold it over the weekend, if we're fortunate enough, I know you're not crazy about hedges, but would you take any kind of hedge over the weekend, for protection in case something crazy happens?
No, I don't believe in the hedges stuff, buddy. That I think I told you the description of a hedge is when you go long and then you put the other side. Now that's no good. That's a stick with on both ends. Hey, listen, happy Thanksgiving to you, Jeff. May God bless. We'll be right back, boys and girls. You bet. Bye-bye.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are you looking for a secured investment which pays you on a monthly basis? The Tiger First Mortgage Program may be the program for you. The best rate on a 5-year CD in the country right now, according to Bankrate.com, is paying 1% per year or $1,000 per $100,000 invested. The Tiger First Mortgage Program pays 7% per year, paid monthly, on secured, high-value, buildable properties in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment is for 4 years, paying 7% per year or $7,000 per $100,000 invested. Your investment is secured by high-value real estate in St. Petersburg, Florida. Your investment can be anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000. Do you want to make $1,000 per year on $100,000 invested or $7,000 per year on a secured Tiger First mortgage? The Tiger First Mortgage Program may be just the program for you. The Tiger First Mortgage Program pays 7% per year, paid monthly. For more information, you can call 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
Okay, we're back on the air, folks, and we came very close to 75 even on that crude oil. We got down to 75.09. We're now back to break even. And then we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's going to be an important thing to watch. The other one, of course, is, we sold wheat on that high the other day. And so far that is actually doing okay. I mean, it's not super. It made well over $1,300 on the first unit. But, where the second unit's going to be, it's at about 11 cents right now. But it's still a tiny bit early in that trade, but it is a big ABCD. Been waiting for that one for a very, very long time. So let's move on to the next one here. Let's review. On Monday, we're going to have Jeff Hughes. On Tuesday, we're going to have Dr. Al Larson. On Wednesday, we're going to have Shane Smulyan. Thursday, the turkey's going to take care of itself. Friday is going to be a holiday from my point of view, so we'll see you on Monday for sure. But folks, this is the holiday season, so try to do some things for people that are having a rough time. I know the economy is supposed to be booming, but in some people's lives, it is not booming, it's dooming. So try to help those folks. I mean, they're really out there and they are having a rough time at it. And I think if you take a few minutes and do something like that to help them, it'll enrich your life and also enrich theirs. That's the main thing. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the air, but my kids, when they were little, from the time they were about 6 years old, they got one Christmas present. That's all they wanted. They only asked for one. And they knew the importance of what Christmas was all about the giving and stuff. And I thank God that we were able to instill that into them, because they've continued it on, and it's really the way to go. It's not. There's an old sticker on cars. It says the man with the most toys wins, and boy, let me tell you, pal, that's not it. The man who wins has got the most friends at his graveside. That's the man who wins. So remember that. Okay, let's move on to the finest thing we want to know is watch the close today, folks. If we close badly in the Dow Jones and also in the S&P, forget the NASDAQ. That's only about 20 stocks. But if we close badly in the S&P, close badly then we are looking at lower prices maybe. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.